That's a fact also, Mr. Obama. And race is a factor in the U.S. This cannot be conceived as racism except by Obama, who's used it all his life to get where he is. And so, therefore, we are going to read the narrative. On Thursday, July 16, 2009, Henry Gates Jr. of Ware Street, Cambridge, Mass. was placed under arrest after being observed exhibiting loud and tumultuous behavior in a public place, directed at a uniformed police officer who was present investigating a report of a crime in progress. These actions on behalf of Gates, that's the black professor, served no legitimate purpose and caused citizens passing by this location to stop and take notice while appearing surprised and alarmed. Now, the important thing for you to know is that the police officer who conducted the arrest gave Gates several opportunities to stop his aggressive behavior. You should also know that the police officer involved in this actually teaches classes on how to avoid racial profiling. Therefore, Obama is wrong. I'll be right back.
Hi, it's Roger Hitchcock. Join me evenings starting at 7, right after Savage on Talk 910 KNEW.
Do they hide the gelt beneath the pelt? Makes me sick, makes me sick, you know. God must know they steal the dough. Not all Jews are simple schmoes. Bend the knee to the Almighty, and at night they laugh hee-hee. Do they hide the gelt beneath the kilt? Gives new meaning to the phrase people of the crook. Making friends one day at a time here on the Savage Nation. Now, I have a question for you. In England, I was banned, they said, because if I were to speak there, I would create intercommunity tension. Let me ask you something. Do you think Henry Louis Gates Jr. just created intercommunity tension? Don't you think Obama just stimulated intercommunity tension with his comment that the cop is stupid? And don't you think that the rabbis who traded in kidney donations and money laundering themselves created intercommunity tension, not me commenting upon it? So you see how absurd it is to say that a commentator can't comment on things because he's going to stir up intercommunity tension. I would say it's the people committing the acts that we are commenting upon that are creating intercommunity tension. You get it? Okay. Sheila, New York, WOR. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, I would like to comment on the corruption charges against the Jews in New Jersey.
Go ahead.
Observant Jew myself, I'm ashamed. I can't even explain to you what I felt when I saw the news this morning. You know, we have a saying in Judaism, it's called Derech Eretz Kadma LeTorah. It means that the law of the land is equivalent to the Torah. And if Jews are not afraid of the law of the land, then they're certainly not afraid of God. And it goes both ways. And I just feel like...
You're a very wise person. You're a very wise person. And you are a good person. You are a true rabbi. You are a true teacher. You should be teaching the rabbi. He shouldn't be teaching you, Sheila.
And I'm so upset about this. It's just awful. You know, like, they're supposed to be, we're constantly scrutinized, everything that we do. And something...
Sheila, here's the thing to remember. You got to attend your own garden. You got to do the right thing by yourself. As I say, you are a wise person. In other words, yes, it's okay to feel humiliated and shamed by what they did to the image of your community, but you didn't do what they did, okay?
Of course, I understand.
Take pleasure in the fact that you know right from wrong. Mark in New York, WOR, go ahead, please.
Hi, Dr. Savage. I have an acquaintance whose dad is actually here today, 7 years later, because, believe it or not, he got a kidney from one of them, and he actually paid for it himself. It was a lot of money. He paid for the whole thing, but he's actually sitting around. But my main point, my question was, what exactly is that bothering so much? Is it that they bought something for $10,000 and sold it for $160,000? Was it that they were selling a live organ that is illegal? What exactly is what they...
Let me explain to you that these organs are gotten from people under false pretenses, number one. Now, notice they were getting the organs from people in Israel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So who in Israel would donate an organ? Would it be somebody who owns an aircraft factory? Would it be somebody who owns the Mercedes dealership in Tel Aviv? Would it be a Jewish nightclub owner who would donate a kidney? It would be the poorest of the poor, probably an immigrant from Yemen, an immigrant from somewhere who didn't have a pot to pee in, who was told that he'll get a fortune, $10,000, God knows how many shekels, if only he'll cut out a kidney and he can still live on another kidney. So the ethical problem here is to encourage poor people to donate organs for money. Now, this is not the first community it has occurred in. It's been occurring in India for a very long time. It's been occurring in China for a very long time, where the Chinese take the organs from people that they execute for political crimes. You know that as well, Mark. But for this to be coming out of the Jewish community in Israel is the new shocker here.
I agree with you regarding the ethical, and you're trying to be a nice guy and save people's lives, give it away at a better price. But what's the legal issue over here with the FBI talking about, they said, 10 years of probing into what was that big commotion, the legal part right now in our system?
Well, what I'm saying is this, Mark. It looks to me like there's more involved in organ sales. It looks like there's money laundering. It looks like there's other issues involved than simply money laundering over kidneys. But the kidneys themselves present a major ethical question. If you encourage poor people to have a kidney cut out of their body for money, what you're doing is killing the man in half, 50% of the man. You're killing 50% of the man for $1. You're exploiting his poverty. That's the issue. It's ethically wrong. It's religiously wrong. It's financially wrong. It's wrong on every level. That's the point. 1-800-449-8255. We'll be right back to read the police report on the Savage Nation.
Savage.
The home of the Savage Nation in the belly o' the beast, San Francisco. Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Race remains a factor in the society. That doesn't lessen the incredible progress that has been made. I am standing here as testimony to the progress that's been made. And yet, the fact of the matter is that this still haunts us. And even when there are honest misunderstandings, the fact that blacks and Hispanics are picked up more frequently and oftentimes for no cause casts suspicion even when there is good cause.
Yeah, keep up the double talk, Obama. Get another cop killed. You know, in Oakland if you recall, last spring, 4 cops were killed because of rhetoric like this coming out of Obama's yap. Every time a cop approaches a minority now, they have to think twice before they can pull a gun for fear that a Henry Louis Gates Jr. or an Al Sharpton or now the President of the United States will accuse them of racial profiling. So because they hesitated and didn't pull a gun, he pulled a gun on them and executed 2 of them. And then when a tax squad went after them, he shot 2 more and killed 2 more. See, so you got to watch out what you say in this country because it can kill people. You talk about the power of words, Mr. Obama. You are wrong. Now I'm going to read the police report. Not yet. No. Now I'm going to take a few callers better. New York, WOR. Go ahead, Mark. Mark, go ahead. You're on the Savage Nation.
These guys that were giving away their organs, they knew they were giving it away. They knew how much it was being sold for. If there's a market out there, it's tragic they had to do it. But these guys were big boys, and they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were selling it for, and that's the market for it. The main crime these guys did is...
Wait, hold on. What did you just say? You don't even understand the ethics involved because you don't have any ethical part of your being. You mean anything that's $1 is good? Anything for $1 is fair?
Absolutely not, but these guys wanted to do it.
Absolutely not. If you wanted to sell heroin to a 14-year-old child and the kid knows it's heroin, is that okay to sell heroin to the child?
Absolutely not, but these guys were adults, and most of these guys are all adults, and they know what they're doing, and they know
when you say these guys, you mean the people who sold their organs knew what they were doing?
Exactly.
So you're saying let the free organ market decide?
I'm not saying it's a free organ market, but these guys wanted lots of money. It was probably more than $10,000 a piece, and these guys wanted lots of money, and they figured give away an organ.
But don't you understand the ethical questions involved in inducing poor people to sell organs? Don't you understand what's involved here?
Who says they were induced? These guys wait online to do it, probably. That's what I think. These guys want loads of money.
But you shouldn't encourage that kind of behavior if you have any ethics. Because I'll tell you where this leads. Do you know that we could reach a point in America where a rich man might be able to hire a poor man to take a sentence for him in prison for the right amount of money? What if we reach the point, a man commits murder, but with such a degenerated society that the rich man can hire a poor man to serve 20 years in jail for him? Or he's found guilty and he's given a death sentence, but he's wealthy enough to find a poor guy who'll give the money to his family, and for $1 million, the poor guy will be executed, and the rich guy doesn't get punished. Would you see a problem with that, or you'd say the poor guy knew what he was doing?
That would be a great problem. And do you think this is the same thing?
Well, by the way, my friend, if you think that I'm making this up and it's outlandish, it's happened in history. So what you got to understand is that an ethical society has to establish ethical principles. You don't encourage poor people to sell body organs for money. Thanks for the call. Play the klezmer music for a minute. I already have a migraine. I have a migraine from the music, from the organ. It's terrible that it's Orthodox Jews of the Syrian Jewish community, they say.